It's exciting to be here, and the rarest of opportunities to have one phenomenal person when it comes to movies. Someone, an African, a black American who has blazed the trail when it comes to filmmaking. And this is global, and we are privileged to have the rare opportunity of hosting the man behind Inside Man, the man behind Malcolm X, He Got Game. I'm talking about Spike Lee. Join us on Asase Radio. And Spike Lee is in the motherland, and we got that opportunity to talk to him. And so, well, you're welcome to Asase and Spike Lee.
Give me some. Give me some.
You're welcome to the motherland.
Great to be here.
Yeah. For how long have you been around?
Well, I've been here. I think I lost track of time. The vice president.
Okay.
Our sister invited my wife and I to come.
Okay.
Well, other bunch of African Americans
Yeah.
to make the travel back to the motherland.
Exactly.
And she gave a great speech
Mhm.
today, Kamala. Vice President Harris gave a great speech,
Yeah.
great reception by this country. And tomorrow we're going to the castle.
So you're going to the castle tomorrow?
Yes, I know that's going to be deep.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
know that my ancestors
Yeah.
were stolen from Mother Africa
Mm-hmm.
to work the land that was stolen by the Native Americans. The foundation of the United States of America is stealing the land for the Native Americans and stealing our ancestors to work the stolen land. That is the foundation of the United States of America. Genocide and enslavement.
Stolen people to work on a stolen land. And you call that the history of the United States of America.
That is the foundation, United States of America. They can try to
Those are some
they can try to lie all they want, but facts are facts.
those are some profound words. And I mean you make mention of your trip here with family coming together with the assistant of Kamala and Kamala herself, her speech. Since you've been here in Ghana, and I mean, you may have heard about the year of the return, which happened some years ago, and subsequently beyond the return. And a lot of people have come into the country. Some get here and they say they feel like this is home. I mean, there's no point going back. I mean, in recent time, Idris Elba has been around, many other people. What was the personal, sentimental feel for you when you touched base at the airport, you got into the arrival hall, eventually you stepped out and you saw Ghana? Was it also
It was
special
love.
for you?
There were drummers and dancers to greet us.
Okay.
So right then I knew where I was. Home.
Yeah.
And here's the thing though. Science and technology can be used for evil or good. So many years ago, Alex Haley wrote this book called Roots,
Okay.
where he was able to trace his family back to Africa.
Yeah.
But now with science, I took the DNA test.
Okay, you did.
Yes.
And the results?
Well, on my mother's side, Sierra Leone.
Oh,
On my father's side, Cameroon. Sorry.
no, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, that's fine.
No choice.
I'm fine. So that's how come. So you are Creole on the mother side from Sierra Leone, and then you have some connections with Cameroon, and so there's Mbappe who has connections. I see you dotted in your Paris Saint-Germain jersey there. So does that explain
Mbappe, you
the
think
connection
he's the
with
man.
Mbappe?
But here's the thing, though. There's been attempts, but we have to do everything we can do to bridge the gap
Yeah.
between Africa and all the other countries where black people are.
Where we call the diaspora.
That's because I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Brazil, what are they trying to do? They got crazy black Brazilians. I mean, Brazil
Yeah.
was the last country
Yeah.
that ended slavery.
Mm.
You know that?
Mm.
They were the last country. And if you go to parts of Brazil like Bahia,
Yeah.
if they weren't speaking Portuguese, like we're black people all over the world. And
Yeah.
so I know they don't want us to get together.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want that.
Yeah.
But despite that, we have to try to bridge the gap. I know they've been doing it here in Ghana, so I commend them for that.
Okay. Great. And I mean the connection between Africa and the rest of black world. The black world is one that a lot of emphasis is being placed upon. Beyond just connecting to your roots, there are also all of these opportunities economically, culturally, and all of those things that is being trumpeted. And you can clearly tell that in Ghana, that has been a significant emphasis where we are trying to connect as much as possible. And so,
What word you say? Try?
yeah, I mean,
Oh,
the efforts are being made. You think we are doing great at
Let me
it?
question. What did Yoda say?
What?
What did Yoda say?
You tell me what he said.
There is no try.
There's no
Do.
try. You just do it.
Like my students, I'm also a film professor.
Professor, okay, all right.
Professor Lee, I'm trying. I said, don't use that word try in my class.
Just do it.
Do it. All right. That word try is no longer in your
Okay.
no longer in your
Okay.
vocabulary.
Clearly. And so we are making a lot of efforts to
Thank you.
bridge that gap.
You're making, not you're doing it.
Yes, we're doing it. For you, from the position of the diaspora, connecting with the motherland, connecting with the continent, do you think the black community outside of Africa see the essence of connecting back to the roots as much as a lot of people here in
Not
Africa
everybody.
think they ought to be?
Here's the thing, though. With movies, TV shows, the negative portrayals of Africans still lingers in the minds. They've been induced, and so we have to get rid of those stereotypes. It's not all gone.
Mm.
Stupid stuff. We need more education.
Yeah.
We need more education.
And so there's a bit more education that has to be done on the part of the diasporans for them to appreciate the essence of actually reconnecting to the motherland. Now let me ask, you have a situation where now a lot of people are actually seeking to know where they are from. And one thing I have learned is,
That's a blessing.
yeah, indeed it is. And one thing I have learned
Because
in
if you
recent
didn't have an
time-
Alex, even have an Alex Haley in your in your family, it was very hard to trace where your ancestors were, what land.
Yeah. So that's important.
Very important.
In recent time, Ghana is seeking to place a lot of emphasis on tourism, right? As not only an opportunity to entertain or provide a place where people get to see certain things that have happened in the past, but also as an economic tool to turn around the economic fortunes of this country. And one key thing that in my little learnings I have realized is you can use film to drive that tourism agenda. You've been here with the Vice President Kamala Harris. You've been around the country. Were you at Cape Coast with her?
Today?
Yeah, today.
Yes, I was there.
Good. So I'm sure you would have seen a number of the forts, the castles along the way, and even in Cape Coast. Do you think Ghana serves a great destination when it comes to film, in terms of shooting sites, locations?
I had an interview earlier, and I did not know. I was not aware that there's a thriving film industry in Ghana. I know about Nigeria.
Okay.
And I made the point. I mean, it was publicized I was coming, and no one has approached me from the film office here in Ghana. You know,
Wow.
I'm leaving tomorrow, so
You've not had an engagement with the National Film Authority.
no one is.
Have you heard of Juliet Asante? You've not heard of her. She's the head of the National Film Authority. You've not. None of them have approached you. What's your
I mean,
coming-
look, if people, I would love to meet the people in the film industry here, but no one
I
reached
think
out.
we can arrange that after this meeting.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Yes, so we'll make it happen before you go. No, but back to the question. Looking at the various sites and locations that you've seen, at least.
All locations are beautiful,
Mm.
but you still got to have the story. So they just gotta. I mean, people aren't just end up here. You gotta go out and
Mm.
be aggressive, and tell.
Mm.
No one. I have not heard of anybody.
So until you're coming here, you didn't know there was even a thriving movie industry.
I know about Nigeria,
Wow.
their film, but nothing about Ghana.
So there's this movie, Girls Trip. It's an American movie. It's a Hollywood production. Parts of it are going to be shot here in Ghana. Idris Elba was in the country, I think, a few weeks ago. He's indicated that he has plans of even Idris Elba. Yes, has plans of coming to have a production here and all of that. Is it a thing that you would want to consider yourself? I mean, shooting something from here, making
Of course.
a movie. Anytime soon, we should be expecting that.
I just found out 10 minutes ago there's a film commission here, so it's not like I got to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not against it.
Okay, but it's something you can consider.
Yes.
Let's get into your philosophy of movies. And I mean, I've watched a number of your movies. I mean, I've watched some of your very old ones that you were an actor yourself. Subsequently, I mean, all kinds of people like, what's his name, Tyler Perry and all of those other movie makers, they've made all kinds of movies. And you've had some very interesting opinions about some of these movies that have been produced, especially being a black American. I mean, having come around here, having seen, and you talk about tomorrow you're likely to be visiting the castle, and it's going to be, I mean, welling up or springing up certain sentimental issues with you. What is your philosophy about movies? Is it supposed to be one which just tells the stories as have been, as they are, or they should be telling stories of what we aspire to be?
It could be both. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Mm.
It could be both. And I love telling stories. I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be one thing.
Yeah. And so for you, it cuts across.
Yes, sir.
Because I've heard in an interview you do indicate that, I mean, the artist should be afforded the freedom of expressing their artistry, all right? And so clearly it goes to buttress the
yeah,
point
but
you're
think
making.
about filmmaking because
Yeah.
it's different than writing a book
Mm.
or painting or music. I mean, it costs
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
for films.
Mm.
That's always been the obstacle.
Last month, February was Black History Month, and I mean, we sought to remind ourselves of some of the phenomenal things that have been done. In fact, you were captured in an interview indicating that for America, for instance, the first person who died for that country was a black person. You know, looking at Black history right now and looking at Ghana being the center, as it said, the center of the world, being the most
Said that.
proximal. I mean, in terms of if you look at the longitudinal and latitudinal, I mean, convergence, Ghana becomes the closest to that point. Do you see Ghana being a major tool for drawing the rest of the black world together to start something great? And you know the story of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of this country, and all of that. There's been a lot said about Ghana being the gateway to Africa.
And who assassinated him?
Well, that's a story for another day. Do you see Ghana becoming that?
I think
Attraction.
it's three letters.
Mm.
One begins with the first letter is C
Yeah.
and the last letter is a A.
No, we want you to say it. I mean, you are known not to shy away from saying things, so you just go ahead.
Oh, it's known that the CIA had something to do with the assassination of Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah. And so back to my question. Do you see Ghana becoming that point of attraction to bring the rest of the black world, the African world together?
That's a great question. This is my third day in Ghana. I'm not the expert.
You know, but you've done some readings about Ghana.
I know, but
you know.
I don't want to be like, I'm not an expert on this country, so
Yeah.
I don't want to. The potential's there,
Yeah.
but the infrastructure, I don't know. So
You know,
I just,
I ask you this because a lot of your movies, your focus, you've sought to paint a better picture of the black community. And so you've had certain concerns about certain kinds of stories that have been told. I mean, the US has had a black president, it now has a black vice president. And so you see a certain
and
progress.
you're still killing black people every day.
Well, yeah.
The police.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a certain progress, a certain progression. So I know your love for the black community, and that's why I ask you some of these questions. But now let's come to what even brought you into movie. Was it always movies, filmmaking? Was it always a passion
It's
for
my
you?
mother.
Your mother brought you into it.
My mother loved films. My father hated Hollywood movies. So since I'm the eldest of 5,
Okay.
I was my mother's movie date.
Okay.
So she would take me to the movies.
Okay.
And I loved the movies, but I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be a movie director. I didn't even know what a movie director was. You went to the movie theaters, you laughed, and you had fun.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I was in college
Okay.
that I decided this is the path I want to take with my life. I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
For my major was at Clark College across the street. I was a mass communications major, which is film, television, radio, journalism, photography.
So that was pure arts.
And after that, I came home to New York
Yeah.
and went to New York University Graduate Film School,
Okay.
where I'm now a tenured professor. I'm teaching for the last 30 years.
Okay.
And the reason why my stay is not longer
Yeah.
here in this great country, I have class 8 o'clock Thursday morning. So I got to get back to my students.
I see. So that's how you got into movies. And I mean, what would you say the experience has been? I mean, you've been doing this for a long time.
4 decades, my brother.
40 years. What would you say has been your experience?
It's a blessing. And I said this more than once. On this God's earth, if you can make a living doing what you love, that's a blessing. Because unfortunately, majority of these people on this earth go to their grave having worked a job they hated.
The Oscars have always been thought of as very biased towards the non-blacks, and there've been all of those kinds of awards, and you have fought over the years the Academy Awards, and finally you have some form of true recognition. And we saw Will Smith and Chris Rock. That debacle, what did it mean for you, having fought for the black this entire time as far as the Academy Awards is concerned?
You know, I know Will. Chris and I. He's from Brooklyn, so it's not a good look. We moved on.
But subsequently, we've seen Chris come up, do a stand-up comedy, and make millions out of that, pretty much ridiculing the situation as did happen. I mean, a lot of us thought once that had happened behind the scenes, they were going to talk about it, and that would be the last we'll hear of it. When this stand-up comedy came subsequently, I mean, how did it feel for you?
Like everybody else did, that it was unfortunate, and hopefully, God willing, it's squashed.
It's squashed. So Ghana,
We got the lights now.
so Ghana celebrates 66 years of independence.
What was 1950?
1957.
I was born 57.
Oh, so you turned 66 this year. Which month?
20th.
So you celebrated your birthday just about a week ago. Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ghana.
So you share the same birth year with Ghana. Having lived 66 years, you look at us now, we wanting to use tourism to transform our economy. Having played within,
Here's the thing, though.
yeah,
Countries that just rely on tourism is I think you got to be has more than that
of course.
because of the
Yeah.
weather. You have to be multi.
Sure.
I do hope that Ghana does not rely only on
On tourism.
tourism.
Yes, of course. I mean, we've been exploring agriculture the entire time. We've been dealing with the extractives, mining for hundreds of years. In recent, not too long, we discovered oil, so we're producing some hydrocarbons as well. You know, but now,
Let me ask you a question.
yeah.
What's the relationship between Nigerians and Ghanaians?
I mean, we call ourselves cousins.
Yeah, that's not what I heard.
We call ourselves cousins. I mean, the between Ghana and Nigeria, there's Togo and Benin. But we talk about Ghana and Nigeria as if those two countries don't exist between us. We are that close, very proximal. But back to what I was saying.
Nah.
No, we are very good cousins. I mean, very good friends. We intermarry, a lot of intermarriages between Ghanaians and Nigerians. And yeah, so yeah. So we have a situation where we are seeking to place a lot more emphasis on our tourism. I mean, hitherto, it had been pretty much something in the background. And the use of film is one of the key things that we are seeking to drive tourism with. For you who have played in that industry for about 40 years now, what will be some of the key pillars or tenets that you would advise as a country wanting to utilize film, movie, some of the key things we need to watch out or have established?
Is there a film school here?
Yes, we have the National Film and Theatre Institute, which has now been amalgamated into a University of Media, Arts, and I think Culture, also UNIMAC. Yeah. So there's a film school.
In Accra?
Yes, here in Accra.
So here's what I'm talking about. If there's a film school here
Yeah.
and they know Spike Lee is coming, no one reached out to me and said, Spike, can you speak to our students? I would have done it.
That's a missed opportunity. We don't know when next you'll be here.
I need an invite, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here. I would love this. I would love
The students.
with the filmmakers that got
Yeah.
the artists that got
Yeah.
the film students.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't know I was coming.
Maybe. Of course, we even got to know very.
Oh, we got to do it on the next. We got to set that up. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Next time.
We,
So
we'll work that out. So, in terms of the tenets, once again, the main pillars that we should have beyond having a film school that I believe you were touching on, what are the key other elements that we should have to ensure that we have a thriving movie or film industry?
government has to support it, and support that means they have to give money. Support it. Support the film schools,
Mm.
the dance schools.
Mm.
Governments have to support the arts. A lot of governments think that's something frivolous,
Mm.
but art is what keeps the culture going.
Mm.
So I don't know what the situation is here, so I'm not going to speak on it. But you asked me what should
Yeah.
be done. You know, I think the arts, push the arts. You know, have filmmakers from all over the world come here,
Mm.
to speak to the young people.
And just to give you some context,
If I've got an invite to say, Spike, we want you to speak to young filmmakers here,
yeah,
I would have done it. Without question, I would say, okay, where I go? Come and get me.
interesting. And I mean, just to give you some context, in recent times here in the country, there's been a lot of emphasis on STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math. And there seems to be a certain
Let me stop.
de-emphasis of arts.
Everybody just want to be in science.
Hmm.
I mean, everybody has interests, and brains work differently. And want to express themselves through art, through dance, through photography, painting, not science. I mean, the more opportunity you give your young people, be creative, no matter
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah. So for you, the collaborations are very important with established universities that have more established curriculum that are actually doing well and teaching some of these newer models as far as filmmaking is concerned. Beyond the collaborations, all right. So now I've heard you talk about government intervention. I've heard you talk about assistance. Yes, assistance. Assistance. Yeah. So government assistance, building partnerships with like-minded universities or progressives and all of that. For someone who wants to go into film, a student or someone who sits there and says, I like this industry. I want to do this. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a producer. I want to be a camera person. I want to be in front of the screens. What are some of the key things they need to consider before making that leap?
It's hard AF. So you have to know this going in like it's not easy. You have to be committed. It's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of setbacks. But if that's what you want,
Mm.
do it. Don't try, do it. I think we're losing light here.
Yeah, but we're going to wrap it up in a bit. But I mean, once again, we thank you so much for talking to us. If you're living, I mean, now that you're living in Ghana right now, in fact, let me ask you, since you came, have you had any local meals? Any local meals? Which local food did you have?
It's a rice.
Rice.
Yeah.
Which was it? Jollof?
Yeah.
Jollof.
Yes. Never had that
So
before.
you had Ghana jollof.
Yes.
You hadn't had it before.
Never.
What was the experience?
Scrumptious. So good, I went back for a second plate.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, where did you have that?
Well, I don't eat meat.
You don't eat meat. Yeah.
I don't eat meat. No pork. No red meat. Fish.
So you had it with fish.
Yes.
And where did you have it? Is it in your hotel?
Restaurants.
Your restaurants,
This
yeah.
hotel.
Yeah.
The Kapinski today.
Okay. So you've had a number of plates of jollof.
Yum yum.
And you know early on you mentioned Nigeria. So the Nigerians claim they have better jollof. I mean, I just want you to
Nigerians claim everything.
say it louder so they can hear you again.
Nigerians claim everything.
So now if I'm to give you just a minute to tell the Nigerians about Ghana jollof, what are you going to tell them?
I'm saying peace and love. We're all black brothers and sisters.
Oh, it's been an honor talking to you, Spike. It's been an honor having you in Ghana.
Thank you.
We hope to meet again, and we're going to arrange that
Yeah.
that meeting with the Film Authority,
Commission?
and then also, I mean, the Film Institute as well.
Yeah.
Thank you once again for joining us. All right, thank you so much. It's been Spike Lee, the man behind the movies you love so much, talking to us. He's here in the motherland. He came together with the entourage of the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris, and he granted us this
Kamala.
this rare interview. And my name is Benjamin Ofeado. This is Asasi Radio. Thank you so much for joining us.